You're listening to Parasearch UK Radio. News, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch UK Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the Great Paranormal Debate with hosts Kerry and Paul on Parasearch UK Radio.
Good evening and welcome. You're listening to the Great Paranormal Debate and we are on Parasearch UK Radio, and tonight there is a little bit of a change to what you're used to seeing or listening to on a Friday night. Instead of having my wonderful co-host, that is Paul Rook, I have swapped and stolen from the 9 p.m. show, Kerry Greenaway. So welcome, Kerry.
Hiya. That was close. We're having a few tech difficulties tonight, I'm just going to warn you.
Tumbleweeds, bless you.
I know, sorry,
yes,
I'm clicking like a mad woman. I'm not used to this debate thing going on.
Oh, bless you. No, I know. It is great fun. I particularly enjoy this show. So, yeah, I hope everyone enjoys it as much as I like doing it. But tonight I'll be sharing it with Kerry, and we've got some fantastic. Kerry has really let her hair down on this one. She's really gone wild with it. And you found some fantastic stories, haven't you?
Wow, I don't know about that, but yeah, I enjoyed looking into different.
They're funny.
I did find some funny ones. I hope you guys find it funny too.
Well, do you know what? Going through them, I actually did. I was looking at some of them, and I remember watching when I was looking through the videos, and I was like, oh, God, that's a bit different. That's a bit strange. So, yes, so this is what we're doing tonight. So the first one we're going to be looking at tonight is, it's at a location that a lot of people have been to.
Yeah.
It's at a place called Ruffin Tower. And the actual article is called, "Is this the worst ghost footage paranormal investigators thought that they'd caught some evidence, but it is suggested that they actually didn't. What they actually got was the body of a fellow investigator." So I'm going to tell you the story of what has happened. So I'm also going to share the link with you guys in the chat. So the story itself, it's, like I said, set in Ruffin Tower. Now, I don't actually know which part of the control room it is in, but it is stated that it's there. And they use the Kinect equipment, the Xbox Kinect equipment to be able to track evidence. So it says paranormal investigator Simon, 44, from Buckinghamshire, was on a trip to WW2 Airfield Ruffin Tower Control in Suffolk. He was with his team and they decided to bust out a bit of equipment. Now, I've never seen this piece of equipment being used other than on Ghost Adventures, and I think, you know that one where you can see the little animal or person or whatever is crawling up Zach's body. Is it Zach or Aaron? Zach, I think. Have you seen that one, Kerry?
No, I have seen it used before. I will say that. I have seen it used before, and it's interesting. I saw it where someone was sat on a sofa, and then no one was sat next to her, but it was showing there was a figure sat next to her, and the figure put his arm around the girl that was sat on the sofa. And that was quite interesting because they were also picking up temperature drops at the same place and stuff like that. So I don't know how credible this this technology is in regards to paranormal investigating, but it's interesting, I will say that.
Well, it is, and they actually was able to, well, they said that they picked up on a figure. Now, the article is actually in the chat room. You can click on it and look at the video yourself. It's in there. And now this is open to debate. Now, it suggested one thing, but the actual team really did think that it is paranormal and they've picked up on the energy of a spirit. But you can clearly see the investigator standing in the room. You can see that there is someone standing to the side as if in a doorway that is to the right of the investigator. But you can see that there is an energy or a person being picked up on it. Now, have you watched this video, Kerry?
Yeah, I did watch the video, and I have to say, I think it's the person in the doorway. I mean, See, the team were convinced that it was paranormal, weren't they? But when it was looked at, they said that the reason it didn't pick it up initially was because she was bent over, and it was only when she stood up that it sort of like then picked up the shape of a person. So I don't know with this one. I think it's a debunk on this one.
No, I agree. No, I definitely do agree. I do think it's a bit strange. They do say the footage was analysed by Lee Roberts of Haunted Events UK, who come to this simple conclusion. The moment I watched it, my first thought was that the lady who come out at the very end of the video, the camera picks up on her. Seeing her shape, as it uses heat and movement to pick up on people. So it's seeing her shape through the doorway. The interesting thing is that when she comes into the room, it disappears. But the scientific explanation is that she is bent over, and so it doesn't recognise her shape as a person. So this is why it's not picking up on her then. As she is crouched over and stood up, she does not appear the shape of a person, so the device does not register. It is built to register the shape of people. Now, I don't know if that is the case or not. But that is the explanation that they've kind of given, that when the extra person on the evidence disappears, it's because she's not that this spirit has disappeared, but that she has just changed her shape, her figure, and that's where the kind of it doesn't pick up on. But then my argument here is, right, using your example, Kerry, if she's bent over, right, and it doesn't register as a person, wouldn't sitting down be similar?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'd have to look into this piece of tech a little bit more. I mean, I sounded like I know all about tech there, didn't I? But I don't. I'm not sure how an adapted... it's not just like a basic Xbox Connect. It's an adapted Xbox Connect infrared sensor that they used. So to understand exactly how that works, you'd have to look into that kind of technology and find out how they adapted it. I mean, I'm assuming they adapted it for the lighting conditions they were using. I'm assuming that's what that means. But without knowing the technology, I don't know. But I do see your point. How would someone sitting down? But is it because it's still a clear form of a person? As in, you can still see like a head, a torso, arms and legs. And that's what the box picks up on. Where even when you're sitting down, you've still got that basic form. Whereas when you lean over and you're almost like you're in a hunch position, you're not in a human form. So that's possibly why.
Maybe. I mean, it's quite difficult because we don't really know a lot about the piece of equipment itself because we haven't actually used it. So it is quite difficult in that sense for us to be able to actually kind of make sense of it all. But nevertheless, you know, we do say that when someone feels like they get a definitive piece of evidence, you get people that shoot them down and say, no, that's not. And, you know, I know that's what we're here for, but, you know, there might be a less logical explanation to what has gone on, and there might not be. But my personal opinion, just on what I know, which isn't very much, and on what I have read that about this is that it's not. I don't feel like it's paranormal. I feel like there is a logical explanation to what's gone on. I feel like that has been explored and looked into, and the conclusion is that it's not paranormal. But Ruffin Tower is a fantastic location, and there is some great. We have experienced some great activity there as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did get bits and pieces there. But I don't know whether. Again, I've never used it. I would actually like to. I would actually like to see that being used. Actually,
yeah, I think it's really interesting. I mean, Paul is saying in the chat room that it is rubbish and it's underdeveloped for use within the paranormal. So that's what Paul Rook's take is on it. And Kyla says, she says, if the Kinect camera has smudges on it, it can make it register as if things are there. And the sensors are built for adaptation of poop. I love that expression. I mean, it's not an ideal tool, like you say, she said. So it's a possibility that if it does need development, specifically for the paranormal field, it could be a really useful tool. But as it stands at this moment in time, it's quite, from my understanding, it's quite an untried method of investigating.
Yes, and I think the thing is with these types of equipment, they're only just coming out and being. I mean, I think what really made that piece of equipment popular was the Paranormal Activity film. And it was the green sensor lights for the Xbox Kinect, and then it kind of went on then to having recognising the little stick men as people. But I do think that it's something that could be explored and maybe more research go into. And still, with all that being said, although I agree with everyone, I would like to actually see that in use. I have never seen it other than on TV, and to be able to experience that and kind of see the conditions in which it's being used as well. For example, if we were there with these guys at Ruffin Tower when they used it, maybe we wouldn't have the same opinion as we've got now. Maybe we would have actually said no, that there's no way, because of where the woman was standing and what was going on. But because we can't see that, we can't exclude it.
Yeah, it's another one of those. I mean, but they did have it independently looked at, though.
Yes, they did. But that's the thing. They had the evidence independently looked at. They didn't actually have... That bloke was not there when it went on. Do you see what I'm saying? So we're all critiquing the same piece of evidence, whereas if we were actually there, we would know in the conditions that it would have been done in, and we would have been able to know exactly where that woman was, rather than surmising in the dark where she may have been. We know she's in that doorway, but was she standing exactly in that doorway when that was going on, or was she a bit further back?
Yeah.
Can it pick people up even if there's wall Now, we've been to Ruffin Tower. We know the walls are concrete.
Yeah.
You know, would it still be able to pick her up in that, past them that concrete? Would it still be able to pick up her body? But then it looks like you're only getting half a profile side on anyway. So, like I said, it's difficult without being there.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It is difficult if you're not there, but then any piece of evidence, you can say that to any
I agree.
EVP that you get, or any video for anything that you get in the field. You can't purely on that basis.
Oh, I agree completely. I think that's why I can't completely dismiss this, though. I think some pieces of evidence, then you can go, I mean, we've got something coming up in a minute that, sweet Lord, there's not, even if I was there, I'd still be going, no, I'm sorry. No,
I'm sorry. I think the next piece is real.
Oh my Lord. But yeah, so we will go on to the next piece. The next one we've got, and Kerry, if it's okay, I haven't got the link for this. So if you have, please, it is the stepping ladders. I think we've got now, isn't it?
Oh, this was a classic. I had to share this one because it is so funny. Okay, let me share the link for you guys. Now, I found this on a very random site, so it's got to be true, obviously, because it's so random a site. Now, this little story is about ghost ladders walking by themselves, and it basically features this guy who's working with a stepladder, and then the stepladder starts to walk as if it's possessed across the room. What makes me really laugh about this piece is that he grabs he's got a handy cross available in wood, and he holds it up to the ladder, and he's shouting at it. I think it's Mexican. He's shouting, oh, God knows what, at this stepladder. This stepladder is trundling across the floor, and then the stepladder just falls over. It is obviously faked. It is so funny. It's worth a share just for the comedy factor. I loved it because it made me laugh out loud lots and lots. And I was being a little facetious when I sent it to Kerry because I didn't think she would include it.
No. That,
and
like
she went,
you said, it was
just for the comedy factor. We had to show it to you guys purely and simply because it's just hysterical.
It's just like he's taking a casual stroll. Like, it actually looks like it's not just like hopping, it's taking steps. Like, genuinely, it's taking like one step, left step, right step, left step, right step. You know, and it's like, what? It's almost like an elephant with no knees.
Oh,
that's what it reminds me of.
It's a classic. That's all I can say. It's an absolute classic piece. And, yeah. I thought I'd share that one with you. I didn't think she'd include it tonight because, as I say, I was just, being funny. But it did make me laugh out loud. It did. I don't know. I don't think anybody... Exactly. I don't think anybody could ever believe that is real.
I love the fact that he busts out the casual cross that he keeps for just like the power of Christ compels you situations. I mean, just because you're going to come across them every day.
I know, just in case.
A hot stepping ladder.
Yeah, just in case you get paranormal activity whilst doing DIY, you need your trusty man-made rough cast cross that you've handy, and keep it handy as well, just in case your ladder starts having a walk. It is absolutely hysterical, I have to say. So, yeah, that's the kind of quality of clips I've bought for the show tonight.
Oh, no, it's funny. But like Paul says, you should see some of the stuff we actually go through when we prepare for these shows. And usually but this one, no. Yeah, it needs to be shared just because it's out there and people are putting out there as activity. I mean, there's a couple of videos that we've seen. Our Daisy Doos, our beautiful Daisy Doos is... was helping with this one as well. I mean, this woman she was on fire tonight. Some of the things that she found, I was like, God, where were you finding these? I definitely have kept them in my storage.
Have you?
Just for like future reference. Oh yeah, God, yeah, because I said to her, you need to come back next week.
Well, she was on fire. I said to her, I've got to find some stories, and there was me fumbling around the internet, and there's this link, and I was just like, well, where are you finding these? And yeah, thank you so much, Daisy, for your help tonight, because it certainly made my life a lot easier.
Well, on to the next story. We're talking about the monk. Now, I sent this article over to you, and it's called Monk E-Business. Do you see what they did there?
Oh, I loved it.
Did you see that? The play on words.
Yeah, good play on words.
Do you know what, though? Looking into this, I would actually like to speak to this guy. This article was published on the 18th of June 2016, so it's relatively recent, but kind of not. It was a year ago, but in comparison to some of the things we find. It was based on a man called Mark Vernon. He was investigating filming. I don't know what his motives were there. But he is alleged to have filmed a spectral spectacle at Wakefield.
See, the Sun, they come up with the best, don't they? A spectral spectacle. Oh, it's amazing.
I haven't got my teeth in. I can't even. I was actually going to go out the first time. I'm not even going to try the second time. But it goes on. I'll share the link in the chat room with you guys. But it goes on to say about ghost hunter Mark Vernon, 50, filmed spectral spectacle at Wakefield Cathedral. Now, the video itself is quite interesting. Don't necessarily believe it. I can't seem to get the article up, so if you can share that, Kerry, that'd be amazing if you have got it up.
Yeah, that's fine.
The paranormal investigator claims that the ghost he caught on camera is a 12th century monk called Father Daniel, who allegedly screamed as he drifted through the cathedral. The footage shows a few suspicious sightings which appear as dark shadows making their way past the camera. It then goes on to say, Mr. Vernon said, I was investigating it for about 40 minutes. I caught a ghost, a shadow man, walking past my camera in broad daylight. If you listen carefully when it appears, I do believe... Now, I don't like it when they do this because they're putting it out there already. So, you know, they could have said colourful, and then someone goes, doesn't it sound like I love you? And you're like, oh, yeah, it does. But it weren't. They were saying colourful. So I don't like it when they do this. But he's suggesting that as the ghost is running past, it's shouting out, I'm here. He has a bit of a saucy mouth, I'm afraid, he says. Mr. Vernon has spent about the last 35 years searching for evidence of paranormal activity, and he claims that a team of ghosts help him with his investigations. Well, that is that is the story for the Ghostbusters. That these ghost investigators aren't people anymore, but they're spirits helping one person from the other side. It was his spectral sidekick who tipped him off that the screaming spirit in his video is a monk who was based in the cathedral during the 1100s. He goes on to say that he wants to find out more, and he says the only way he's going to be able to do that is to do an overnight visual for himself to be able to get what he thinks is there on film. And he believes that he could definitely do that if he had the opportunity to. Now, he sounds like a very fascinating man. Again, he's someone that I would love to talk to, because I would like to firstly find out if he ever did get that overnight visual and what he was able to pick up. Now, did you listen to the video of this?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Wow. I must be blind and deaf, is all I can say. I saw a shadow, not a ghostly spectral spectacle, and all I could hear was people talking in the background.
Yep.
I couldn't see a ghostly figure, and I couldn't hear what I'm here is. I couldn't hear it, so I'm sorry.
No, I hear that as well.
But I do sometimes think that I need a ghost to literally jump in front of the camera, wave its arms at me, and do a proper song and dance for me before I see it or hear it, because I'm notoriously bad at seeing things in videos or hearing EVPs. It is not a skill I own.
No, but even so, I do look at EVPs, I do watch videos, and I watched this video, and you do see what seems to be like a black, not mist, it's really weird how it moves, it almost like it kind of overlaps itself kind of thing, it's really strange, but you do see it's there, but I can't hear I'm here. I can hear a lot of people talking. Now the problem we've got is it's during the day, so if it's a cathedral it's going to be open to the public because it's open to him. He's obviously not there on an official investigation, otherwise he more than likely, I'm just surmising, be able to secure the location when he hasn't got that contamination, which is, as an investigator, what you'd rather do than have a lot of people come in and out, just for lots of different reasons for that, just that, you wouldn't be having that, you can control your environment, less contamination from outside sources, and my theory is that the more people there, it kind of takes over the natural energy of the building. So they would be my reasons why I wouldn't, if I had the opportunity to investigate properly, it would be in that kind of scenario. So that's just to me. I don't know if anyone else agrees that it was an official investigation. He was just trying his luck. But I would be interested to see if, off of the back of that, if he got the opportunity to then go back and do an overnight visual.
I would doubt it, being a cathedral.
Well, Kyla said that she used to hang out at the cathedral a couple of years ago. Is this the same cathedral that we're talking about now? Is it?
Yeah, Wakefield, yeah.
Okay, there have been rumours of whispers, but never been a manifestation reported. The cathedral never had monks. And claiming that he's got a team of ghosts helping out, yeah, okay. The cathedral is in the middle of a high street and has pubs. There's no way EVP will be picked up there. See, contamination is shame, but Paul says, I will believe in one when I find in a library and I shout, get her. She morphs into a scary ghost, then I'll believe. I think he's still going with the Ghostbusters theme.
I was going to say, I think that's a Ghostbusters reference there. Yeah, I kind of agree, but good try. That's all I'm going to say on that one. I think that's a good effort. But, not a good effort.
Yeah, no cigars for that one. No cigars.
No.
But so this one that we're talking about next. So I know I'm flying through these, but we found some fantastic ones, and I want to talk about them all and share with them all. So this one we're talking about is a Kerry find, I believe, and it says a frightening video shows a teenager attacked by a ghost.
Yeah,
that's your one, isn't it?
It is. It actually came from Unilad, which usually share quite funny videos. Let me just share the link for you guys. There we go. This is actually a Unilad one, and I saw it originally. It did the rounds on social media, so it's probably been well seen. And this guy nonchalantly goes into the room, picks up a book, walks past a door. The door opens, and then he looks like he has been attacked by something that isn't there, and he gets thrown to the floor and then dragged off camera. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I wouldn't like it to happen to me. I'm just putting that out there to the ether. But no, I mean,
Right, do you want to hear my beef with this?
Go on.
Okay, this is my beef, right? Now, I like this video because it's funny.
Yes, very funny.
And, okay, so. If you haven't watched the video, have a quick watch now so that you may be able to give your opinion on this too. But my first issue is, where is it they're just casually filming at this point? Is it a library? Is it in someone's house? Whereabouts is it? What could be going on for them to have a camera set up, right? That's my first problem.
Yep.
Second problem, he did not notice that door opening behind him, didn't feel the draft come behind him. Now, a door, it didn't kind of just gradually creak open. It kind of swung open, right?
Yeah.
Now, even if you close a book too fast, you get a draft in your face. So he never felt that draft of a door come swing open and kind of hit his back.
He's so engrossed in the book. Remember this? He's got a book in his hand. So he's engrossed in the book.
Notice. My opinion is you're still going to feel the draft on the back of your neck when that door swings about an inch away from your head. Right? So that's fine, okay. So you see this little black figure, the same kind of manifestation as such as the previous one, which looks like a black figure that kind of overlaps itself. It kind of looks like it's kind of like merged into one, right? Now my issue is I've never seen something so theatrical in my whole entire life. This guy's arms swinging. He's not tried to flip himself around.
No.
He's not tried to do that, right? The ghost has got hold of a foot that is off screen.
Yes,
you don't see his foot at any point be pulled. You see he literally flies up in the air, one leg up, one leg down. His arms are up in the air. He lands on the floor. The foot is out of sight.
Yep.
He then gets dragged. Not at one stage does he try to flip himself over and try and grab at the floor. He's literally flailing, like his arms in the air, like just, and that's it. And then finishes.
And then it finishes, yeah.
Yeah, you don't see any like afterwards. There's no kind of, he doesn't get off, brush himself down and run off. They literally stop the tape right there. Now, if this is CCTV, it would have continued.
True that.
Right? But you don't see anything other than that point. My main issue is the 2 points that he doesn't feel that door swing open, and it's not that far from him, and you do not see his foot. That is the actual foot that's being pulled.
I think this is a case of a group of teenagers trying to create a funny, scary mock home movie thing.
Yeah, or promo for a film. Paul has said that himself. with another article, another video that we see that he said sometimes they do this just to get us a bit of viral advertising.
Yeah.
So it could be that. It could be that. But either way.
I did find it very funny because, like you say, the dramatics of the lad is just funny. I just found that so funny. It was so nonchalant. He strolls over to the bookcase. Very nonchalant, very slow, very like easy. And then literally this happens to him. And like you say, he does it so dramatically. It's hysterical. I found that funny. As I say, I saw it on social media and I did laugh a lot. So when you said do the debate show, I was like, we've got to include this one because it is just so funny. And not as funny as the walking stairs, though. I will just steps. Sorry, not as funny as the walking steps, but this one did catch my giggle box, and I was laughing at it. And as I say, it's uni lads. They usually share funny things, so it probably was like we said, a group of teenagers having a giggle and seeing if they could get something to go a little bit viral for them for a project or something. That's what our take on this one is, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I mean, it's an interest. Again, it's interesting. It's just interesting because it gives you an insight to how these things can be put together when it's done so obviously. It does kind of give you that kind of, okay, so it can be done. It's just maybe not as so in your face as this is. So, it is. And it's great for a debate as well because you have so many points where you think, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
That's not right. Hold on a minute. That's not right. But, it's interesting. But we're halfway through our show, so I think it's time for a quick break.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
You're listening to Parasearch UK Radio. News, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio.
Join Kerry Greenaway and Jay Lynch for the Parasearch UK radio show as they share their paranormal news, views and reviews from the UK and the USA with the help of guests from both sides of the pond. Will they agree or agree to disagree? Find out every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on Paramania Radio. Welcome to the Great Paranormal Debate with hosts Kerry and Paul on Parasearch UK Radio.
Hello and welcome back. I am Kerry Ann and I have stolen for the night Kerry Greenaway from the 9 p.m. show. This is the Great Paranormal Debate and you're listening to Parasearch UK Radio. So we have been looking at some of the interesting articles and videos that we've come across in this week's search to be able to discuss and debate with you. And we've been talking about some really fascinating ones and we've got a great one coming up next. This is one that you found, isn't it?
Yeah, this is quite an interesting one because it's the sort of thing that you see quite often out and about when you're looking at photographs. Not so much videos. This is actually to do with a photograph. I'm going to share the link for you. Now, this is a couple that walked up the steps to Whitby Abbey of Bram Stoker fame, in Yorkshire. And they took a photo. They saw something strange and they took a photograph. And they say that it looks like to them a man and his dog. Now, I've looked at this and I think this is a case of pareidolia.
Yeah, no, I kind of do as well. I've looked at it. The eyes are, they do crazy things, and we've all been in a position where we've had to double take and look again because we think we've seen something we haven't seen, or we think we haven't seen something we have. And I do think this is a good example of what you say it is, definitely. So the actual places of a church, the picture is taken, and you have what looks to be a set of stairs to in the outside of a church. It seems to be in like a graveyard, like quite grassy area, and there's a lot of things. It's a very busy picture, not because there's a lot of people in there and a lot of buildings, but if you look at the texture, the stones of the church itself, as well as the greenery and the trees, it does look quite busy, don't you think?
It is very busy, and it's a nighttime photo, but I know that the Whitby Abbey has sensor lights. So if you go up there at night,
right,
then it's got a sensor light.
Right, so it casts a shadow then as well, isn't it?
So it is a very shadowy type place. It's incredible place to go, Whitby Abbey. If you go, it's so atmospheric. It's quite an imposing place up on the cliff, and it's absolutely stunning. But it's very old, it's very weathered. It's like you say, the picture itself is very busy. It's got a light source, which I think is from the either the floodlit or the light sensor. I can't remember which it is. I think it might even be lit up all night. It's that sort of place. Do you know what I mean? Because it's so iconic up on the cliff. But it is that which, I mean, if you go further down in the article, it actually enlarges the said figure, said dog. Now, the dog in particular is, well, yeah, it's a stretch in my opinion. Yeah, it's just the markings on the door in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? The man, I can sort of see a little bit more where they're coming from, but again, you can't really, it's a bit wobbly on the edges. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit elongated in the features. It's just a bit, I just think this is a really good example of pareidolia. And when they didn't notice it at the time, I don't think. I think it was afterwards when they'd taken the picture that they saw it. And yeah, I think they've said, yeah, that's where I'm going with this one. But I just think it's just a good example of pareidolia.
Well, I mean, do you know what? I agree. I do actually agree with this. I do think, like I said, just because it's so busy. That's why. I just because it's so busy, that I don't necessarily think that it is all the. I don't think it is what they say it is. But that's our opinion, and feel free to have a look at the article itself. Let us know how you feel and what you think about it as well. We are interested in your opinion. You may see it from a different perspective, and you might see it in a different light than what we do, so to speak. So yeah, have a look yourself and see what you think. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, looking at the picture, it looks like there's writing above it as well. But even that, I wouldn't say is, necessarily writing. It could just be markings in the actual brickwork. It's that kind of picture. If you look hard enough, you could probably see a lot of different things in there that aren't really there, if you know what I mean. I just think it's a really good example of it. And we, like you say, we come across this quite an awful lot, don't we, pareidolia, because of the way your mind works. Your mind is trained to recognise patterns and faces and stuff like that. So that is what your brain does. So I think that's what this picture is, in all honesty.
No, I do. I agree with you there. Definitely.
Yeah. So we debunked that one.
Yeah. We do. Kerry and Kerry.
We're getting through these at a great rate of knots tonight.
It's fine. Absolutely fine. We found two articles that relate to one another. It's from the same area. It's from Cannock Chase, And they talk about the black-eyed child. No, now I've come across black-eyed children before. It's my understanding that they tend to travel in pairs.
Yeah.
They are quite, they're in their teenage, young adolescent age. Am I right?
Yeah.
To think that they don't usually come a lot younger than that, about 11 onwards, is the stories that I've come across. They have just black eyes, as in all black. And what they actually try to do is get into your homes. Now, there's never ever been a story of them actually being able to get in. So what they want to get in for, I don't actually know. But they come knocking on your door and they say that they need to come in and they insist on coming in, but they never seem to be able to get in. And why they want to, I don't know. Don't want to find out either. Just put it out there. And that seems to be the kind of generic story that comes with the black-eyed children. Have you heard of anything else that you could add to that?
Yeah, my understanding is the reason people don't forget the black-eyed scary bit of it, because that's quite freaky, is the feeling that you get when you encounter them. You get a real sense of dread and foreboding, and that is, I think, key in the story of black-eyed children, because if you have a child knock on your door asking to come in, you wouldn't necessarily turn them away, but everybody seems to turn them away, and it's because they get this awful feeling, about it. So it's a whole subject, to be fair. There's so many accounts of them, but the Cannock Chase has got quite a history of black-eyed children surrounding it. Now, this particular piece of footage, I do not think is a black-eyed child. I think it's very interesting, but...
So we have two footages. We have two articles. So the first one we've got a video and we've got a photo. So the first one we're going to look at. Which one are you looking at, the video or the photo?
Yeah, I'm looking at the video at the moment.
Okay, so yes, the
Do you
video.
Want me to share the link?
Oh yes, please. Thank you.
Okay.
The problem that I have is that it's very dark. And you are kind of... Do you know what it reminds me of? Did you ever watch that Simpsons when Mr. Burns goes for his yearly tune-up and he ends up going through the woods all glowing and going, I come in peace, and they think it's an angel. That's what this reminds me of, because she has whoever this is has a natural glow to them. Yeah. They are moving through the woods, and they are alleged to be captured in the video itself. So the article says, once my computer stops playing me about, a team of Ghostbusters claims to have captured the black-eyed child of Cannock Chase on camera after spending 6 hours searching for paranormal activity. After setting up his cameras, the team trawled through Cannock Chase, Staffordshire, in the hope of capturing ghostly apparitions on film. And the group is now claiming that he is successful in their quest and have evidence which it says proves it. So it says that Tony Buckmaster, who captured the footage, said he looks like a child dressed in white. You can see the legs moving as it walks. I didn't even know I'd captured the ghost until I went over the footage and thought, what is that? It's the blurry footage. It has a small white outline and can be seen in the distance, appearing to have stood several metres away from the camera. Tom had spent 6 hours looking for signs of ghost activity with his haunted finders team, who offer haunted house experiences for the paranormal loving customers. So, looking at this, what do you think? I mean, because the body of a living person wouldn't carry its own glow, unless you're Monty Burns, who've just come for your annual, you know.
No, but when I watched it, my initial thought pattern was not a child, it was an adult, and it was further away from them than they say. And I also, the reason I thought that was because of the stride on it. Yeah, it's got quite a large gait on it, the figure this is. Yeah. And also, I thought, reflective clothing. Like a dog walker late at night with reflective clothing wouldn't necessarily give off a glow, but it may get picked up. I don't know how reflective clothing works in that way. But if it's the sort of thing a nighttime dog walker would wear, some form of reflective clothing, possibly. Having said that, the whole figure is sort of outlined. You can see the whole figure. So unless he wore a whole reflective suit, which, who knows? I don't know. But it is interesting, I have to say. I'm not going to dismiss this one because it is interesting. But I don't think it's a child. It's been in the Mirror. This article was in the Mirror, and they do like to sensationalise things for a better read. And so because it's Cannock Chase, they've linked the black-eyed children with it. So whether or not that is what they captured, I don't think so. I think what they've captured is interesting. I think it is interesting. It's interesting. 3 times I've said interesting now in a row.
Yep. That's fine. Sorry. It is interesting. It is. But we also had at round about the same time a lady who had photographed what she considered to be the black-eyed children, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, now this is one of the UK leading mediums, apparently. And she came back after a 30-year absence.
Oh, wow. Okay, you read the article more than I have.
Her name is Christine Hamlet, and she thinks she captured a photograph of this spirit, and it's a strange one.
Yes, I mean, if we can share the article in the chat room. So I've been having real technical problems this evening with my laptop, being able to connect to everything that I need to connect to. So poor Kerry's really having to take the heavy bulk, which seems to happen quite a lot whenever I get you on board. Bless you, such a trooper, Kerry.
I don't know. First of all, you say it happens quite a lot when I'm with you, and then you go, and you're such a trooper. It's almost like I'm manifesting these problems, so I end up taking the bulk.
I manifest them, and you end up going, "Don't worry, I'll save you," and you save me every time.
At least I'm saving you, and I like that thought. That at least I'm helping. I hate the thought that I'm like hindering.
No, definitely saving. You cannot affect my laptop and its connection any more than it is.
It's got better as the show's gone on. I'm just putting that out there. Your sound is definitely getting better as the show's gone on. At the start of the show, I was worried I was going to have to do this on my own.
No, I think there's something going on in my area. Anyway, so we are obviously both quite looking at this photo attentively. We've both seen it before. I mean, I can't even see how this is a child. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I can see.
It's almost like it's crouched down. It's almost like it's crouched down with a hand, its chin on like a fist, sort of head bowed, hand on the chin, sort of leaning over. I wouldn't
looking away.
Again, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a child. Oh dear. I don't quite know what to make of this. Because it's almost a little, it's almost got a feeling of a superimposed feel to it. When I look at it, it's almost like it feels a little superimposed. I don't know what anybody in the chat room might be thinking of this, but it's sort of like bent over and... It's interesting. It's interesting, but for me, I'm looking at it, and I'm not an expert in any stretch of the imagination of photographs or stuff like that. But I have to say, in my opinion, it looks a little superimposed. But I'm not calling her a liar. I just don't know what to make of it, to be honest with you. Again, it could be just a really good example of pareidolia. It could be something of nothing. It could be she has actually captured a figure in the woods.
Yeah. And it is interesting, but we've only got 10 minutes left of the show, and we're not going to be doing a Paranory tonight because we have one more article which I really do want to talk about, and it's the one that you found. So we'll do that before we hand over the airways to Paul and Mark this evening because they have the show after us. But it's the one that you found that says it's the ghost hunter's encounter of the Egyptian mummy at Torquay Museum.
Yeah, this one, I just thought it was a really good example of the problems you encounter with public investigations. Because there's a lot of people in that room. A lot of people. There's one person leading the shouting out. And yes, I think this is really a good example of problems with public investigations and evidence.
So we'll go through the article. It's a psychic investigator, Silent Voices, shared this pitch showing what looks to be an outline of a woman's face appearing out of nowhere. The team caught wind of a spooky happening at Torquay Museum in Devon, which houses the mummified remains of an Egyptian child. They decided to investigate, but were shocked by what they saw. So it says that Jay Daly from Silent Voices said it was the clearest image we have ever seen, and it would cause a stir for our Facebook page and on the net where we have posted it. The facial features are so clear, and note the clothing and cupping hand bottom right. The figure was not visible to the eye when it was taken. I mean, I'm looking at this picture, babe, and I can't see it.
No.
You see it?
No. This is what I mean. When someone says, "Oh, they can see that," and I'm looking at the photo, and like when it's a bit like there's a psychological thing where someone says they see something or hear something, and then everyone goes, "Oh yeah, I can see that," and I'm looking at it and I'm going, "Where?
Can't see a thing.
Where is this supposed to be?" And I can't see it, and I get frustrated with myself because I think I should be seeing it and I can't see it. So either I'm blind, or it isn't there, or I'm just not buying into the psychological of, oh yes, I can see it. I don't know, but I find it...
Either way, it's interesting. It is interesting, but yeah, I agree with Kerry. You can't... It is that you're expecting to see something. It's almost like when they say to you, pick, the criminal was in this lineup and pick it, and straight away, that suggestion that there's there, you then look for it, you kind of find it, and even if you can't find it, you go, oh yeah, I think that's that, because it's been suggested to you that it's there. And I think this is what I've got here. I think it's because it's suggested that it's there. I'm looking and I'm thinking, well, maybe that's it, or maybe that's it, because someone's told me that it's going to be there. I mean, I'm a pain. You know them visual things that you see, like can you spot it, like and share when you spot it, when you see it. That cigar in the wall, it took me a good 2 weeks to figure out it was a cigar in a wall.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I thought it was a turtle for a long time until someone actually turned around and said, on the exactly same photograph that you saw, I could see a turtle in that photograph, and logically, obviously, there's not going to be a turtle on the wall. But it took me a little while to see that one too. It
is strange. It is strange how...
sort of thing. But if you have to look that hard... See, this is where my argument comes in. If you have to look that hard for... if someone says, oh, can you see the ghost in this photo? If you have to look that hard for it...
Yeah.
Or am I being really dumb?
No. I agree. It's it's that kind of thing where you go, if you have to draw a circle around it. I saw something do its rounds a little while ago. It says if paranormal investigators, if you have to put a red ring about what you're trying to highlight, then maybe you're looking a little bit too hard. Don't get me wrong. I think it a little bit dismissive, but at the same time, it raises a very valid point, and I think you've got a good point there. If you have to point out to someone, overly point out to someone, then maybe you are trying to hub. But I do think, like me, who never saw the cigar hanging out the wall, even though it's staring me in the face, sometimes you do need to... That's the only reason I found out what it was, because someone actually said it's a cigar. I was like, oh yeah, I can see it now. But at the same time, it is that kind of suggestive about it all that kind of throws you. But yeah, I'll tell you what, we have had an unintentional theme run through the show this evening, which has been good. We've managed to look at different ways people are able to misinterpret evidence, which is, you know, really interesting within itself. So we've looked at the different types of videos that we've seen. For example, the Connect with the Xbox, the photos with the man and the dog, you know, and then we have the far out crazy ones of the caterpillar.
You've got to have some far out crazies in there, though, surely.
And the walking stepladder. Yeah, it's been an interesting one.
I might actually go as far as saying that has got to be true. Oh dear. Possibly. Yeah, it could be. But we're coming to the end of the show now. We've got, mine and Kerry's paranormal weekend started on Wednesday. Oh my goodness!
But if this is the start of yours, have a fantastic one. We've got Paul and Mark coming up next, haven't we?
We have. They're doing ufology. I think they want me to join them on that show as well. So you might hear me again tonight.
Well, all you have to do, though, to listen in is to refresh the page, keep refreshing until the new link pops up, and then just push play. And then join in with discussions and chat that's going on there. So it's going to be Paul and Mark, it's going to be a fascinating one.
Well, they're talking ufology, and I'm not an expert on ufology, but I've got his notes, so I'm going to sound really intelligent. So even if I'm on the show, I probably won't say a lot. But I know I've done a sneaky. I don't know if I'm on it yet or not. I'm still. We'll wait and see. I suppose it's one of those tonight. So it's like a surprise night. What's going to happen? Anything could happen. Plans have changed and all sorts tonight. It's absolutely funny. It's really going weird. But no, it's been great. I've loved joining you on the Great Debate.
Do you know what? I love the Great Debate show. It's kind of relaxed, a lot of fun, and it is great fun looking at different people's evidences. But I tell you what, it's really got me in the mood, and I'm not investigating this weekend. You guys are, aren't you, this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going out to Epping Forest. I love a forest, me. I know it's like, you know, you can't always guarantee, but no, I'm like out and about, and it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that. I love getting out and about.
Going out with the Dark Nights, isn't it? So if you guys do actually want to join the Dark Nights tomorrow night, you can join them on the Epping Forest walk. You do need to go through Trident Paranormal to be able to do that, isn't it? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you go to the Trident Paranormal Dark Nights page, and you can still get tickets for that if you fancy coming out on a little ghost walk in the woods with me and Mark Manley and a few other of the Trident team members. But it's going to be very interesting. We've got a lot of information about that area, so it's going to be really good, and I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. So we're going to leave you now. We're going to say good night because Mark, Manley and Paul are patiently waiting to be able to take over the studio. And we will be joining you next week. I'm back on Thursday on 7th Sanctum. I do believe that I have my trusty sidekick co-host. When I say trusty sidekick co-host, I'm more hers sometimes. She does so much on the show. I just sit there and chit chat, and she does the studio and all sorts for me, bless her. But we're back next week together. And we have next week, who have we got?
Mark McNichol.
Mark, and he is very fascinating.
He
definitely
is
one that go on this. Yes, I do like Mark. Scottish man, and he has got a film coming up, and his roots are kind of deep within the spiritualism side of things, which I do like. We do focus a lot on the parapsychology and the paranormal side of things, but I do love spiritualism, and he's coming from that kind of perspective next week. So join us for that at 9 p.m. on Thursday, 7th Sanctum. So good night. And shall see you. Well, Kerry, I'll see you in a bit, and I'll see you next week.
See you later, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
You're listening to Parasearch UK Radio. News, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio.